Macmillan Audio presents The Infiltrator, written by T.R. Hendricks, read for you by J. Snyder. One. The time had come to hit the hammer against the anvil, instead of just letting them feel the fire of the forge. It's simple. They're not getting the picture. Not his words, but they roll around inside his head all the same. Passed down from higher-ups, the sentiment preceded the new shift in strategy, a harder approach. Time for a pounding. Easy to say when you're in a conference room back in D.C., Derek Harrington, retired Marine Force recon and wilderness survival expert, now press-ganged into service with the FBI, doesn't have that luxury. As point man in the effort against the domestic terrorist group Autumn's Tithe, not only does he have to watch the hammer fall, but he has to be the one to swing it. Raising his binoculars, he scans the hilltop directly west of his position. He's in a good spot. Slightly lower than the hill across from him, but the difference in elevation is negligible. Derek can still observe everything. The West Virginia trees and foliage provide ample cover as he lies in the prone position, glassing the enemy's camp. A long, low saddle runs between the hills. Off to his left, a two-track dirt road winds its way from west to east through the forest floor. Just enough of a break in the canopy allows him to see along its length. For his part, Derek only has to turn his head slightly, and he can observe the entirety of the path as it weaves past his hill and continues on. The perfect vantage point for viewing comings and goings, as well as the compound. Across the way, he can see their silhouettes moving through the trees. The larger shadows of cabins and workshops fill in the spaces between the pines and oaks. It's a clear morning, and although the sun shines down, a mountain chill hangs in the air. Perhaps it's the air, or perhaps it's just him. Maybe he's getting soft in his old age. These people are trying to commit mass murder after all, but still, some of those shadows across the way are no bigger than his boy back home. The thought intrudes despite Derek's operational disposition. Michael, his boy, his poor boy. A pang of heartache ripples through him. Will his son ever be the same after what happened? Michael seems to be a normal, happy kid so long as he can stay in his bed and play video games most of the time. Venturing out of his room, much less the house, could be a crapshoot with how he would respond. Getting him to school was difficult on the best of days and downright impossible on the worst. The only things that Michael regularly enjoys are playing baseball and fishing, no doubt reverting back to those activities for the comfort they brought to him before his kidnapping. Derek would need to keep easing him out there, helping Michael to adjust to life outside the walls of the home. They're not getting the picture. Send them a message. The directive pulls Derek back to the mission at hand. The intel developed from the logging camp in upstate New York had given the FBI enough of a lead to put him into the field 8 weeks later. This time in northwestern Pennsylvania, near the Allegheny National Forest. It didn't take long for Derek to track down the second compound and call in the cavalry. The group there had received a lot of support staff from the first camp and had barely begun preparations for any sort of attack before HRT rolled them up without a shot being fired. The subsequent interviews and plea deals divulged even more intel, which when processed and war-gamed by enough people in suits in rooms making themselves feel important, gave Derek his next foray. That time, it was into a little no-man's land where the southwestern tip of Pennsylvania meets the West Virginia border. Word from the mastermind still at large had reached this cell ahead of him, despite what the feds would discover later as an attempt to alter their tradecraft and forego the use of electronic communications. The people there were well on the way to staging their attack, but in their haste, they overlooked other logistics.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?